on Tuesday, November 18th, 2025. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing as we invite Ella Gabrinas to come up and sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed, that the twilight's last be grieving, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Ella. We appreciate you being here to start our meeting in a really special way. For the next item of business, I invite Sheila Bailey, our town clerk, to come forward and administer the oath of office for the newly elected board members.
If everyone could please rise and raise your right hands. Rob Anderson, Rosalie Procluglio, Janet Cushman, Danielle Gerard, Dean Gauss, Roberta Kiner, Philip Kober, Kelsey McGuire Bruce, and Amanda Pickett. Do you all solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm that you will faithfully discharge, according to law, your duties as members of the Enfield Board of Education to the best of your abilities, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury? I do. Congratulations, everyone.
Ms. Lawler, roll call, please.
Mrs. Cushman?
Here.
Mr. Anderson?
Here.
Ms. Brocuglio?
Here.
Mrs. Gerard?
Here.
Mr. Gauss?
Here.
Mrs. Kiner?
Here.
Mr. Kober?
Here.
Mrs. McGuire Bruce?
Here.
Mrs. Pickett?
Here.
The next item of business is the election of officers. Item 6A, Chairperson of the Board of Education. I open the floor for nominations for Chairperson of the Board of Education. Ms. Kiner.
It is my great honor to nominate Amanda Pickett for the chair of the Enfield Board of Education. Amanda is beginning her third term on this board, and over the years, she has demonstrated her passion for building and supporting a strong, inclusive, and effective school system. She not only brings to her role the perspective of a parent, but also the vision and experience of a seasoned board member. She has the energy and the drive, the organizational and communication skills to lead a board that will ensure that every child in Enfield has access to an excellent education. Known for her many wonders, Amanda is not afraid to ask the tough questions and offer possible solutions. Additionally, in the last few months during our campaign, she has been a strong, steady voice of reason. sharing her knowledge gleaned over the last 4 years on the board and her day job as a consultant for the Connecticut State Department of Education. What has impressed me the most about Amanda is her ability to recognize, honor, and value the strengths and various perspectives of her colleagues. She is always focused on being collaborative and thoughtfully building consensus. With Amanda at the helm, we will have a strong board where each member will feel heard, valued, and respected, and equipped to work together towards our shared vision of restoring pride and strength to our community and Enfield schools.
Ms. Bruce?
I would like to second the nomination of Amanda Pickett for board chair. I first met Amanda sitting right out there, her as a parent, myself as a teacher, at a board meeting where she was practicing exactly what she now encourages in others, being engaged in her child's education and our community. She took notes, she spoke, and she advocated not only for her own children, but for all the students and staff in Enfield Public Schools. Amanda eventually decided she needed to do more, and she stepped up in a meaningful way to serve this community. She doesn't just sit here every other Tuesday night, she shows up. She's at the fields, in the classrooms, at the assemblies, in the auditoriums, at the door, and at all the events around town. During campaign season, she was an asset to our team with her experience and insight, but she also made space for us newbies, listening to our ideas and celebrating our accomplishments. Amanda encouraged this team every step of the way. Amanda is a champion for public education. She knows education policy, she knows state education laws, she knows schools, and she knows this community. She's a fierce advocate for Enfield Public Schools, and it is an honor to second the nomination for Amanda Pickett for board chair.
Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Could I have a motion to close nominations?
So moved.
So moved by
Second.
Moved by Mr. Kober, second by Ms. Gerard. We'll vote by show of hands. So all in favor of closing nominations? 9-4, 0 against. So we have a motion by Ms. Kiner, seconded by Ms. Kelsey Bruce, for Amanda Pickett as the board chair. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Cushman,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Ms. Brocuglio,
Yes.
Mrs. Gerard,
Yes.
Mr. Gauss,
Yes.
Mrs. Kiner,
Yes.
Mr. Kober,
Yes.
Mrs. McGuire Bruce,
Yes.
Mrs. Pickett.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. We're going to continue with our nominations for positions, and then we will say our comments. I really appreciate you all being here and for your applause, but let's keep business moving. I'm now going to open the floor for any nominations for vice chairperson. Ms. Gerard.
I would like to nominate Kelsey McGuire Bruce for the position of vice chair. Kelsey and I became fast friends over the summer, even before we announced our candidacy for the Board of Education. We spent many days and nights walking together during the campaign, and in that time, you really learn who someone is. What I learned is that Kelsey is an incredible asset, not just to our BOE team, but to our entire town. She is a true leader, a constant encourager, and a remarkable source of support for all of us. Her knowledge, experience, and dedication will carry this board far. I am genuinely proud to stand beside her during this exciting new chapter in our lives. For these reasons, I'm honored to nominate Kelsey McGuire Bruce for vice chair.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'd like to second the nomination for Kelsey, and while I have not known Kelsey long, it does not take long to recognize the commitment and selflessness of character in Kelsey for all things Enfield. She is an advocate for our students and staff, and her love for our school system shines through in everything that she does. You wear so many hats on behalf of this community, Kelsey, that most people don't even get to see. As a fellow educator, now BOE member, and now friend, it is an honor to be up here with you and to second your nomination.
Any other nominations? Do I have a motion to close nominations?
So moved.
Thank you. Motion by Mr. Kober, second by Mr. Gauss. Roll call. Oh, thank you. Thank you, parliamentarian. Can we have a show of hands to close nominations? That is 9 in favor, 0 against for closing nominations. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cushman,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Ms. Brocuglio,
Yes.
Mrs. Gerard,
Yes.
Mr. Gauss,
Yes.
Mrs. Kiner,
Yes.
Mr. Kober,
Yes.
Mrs. McGuire Bruce,
Yes.
Mrs. Pickett.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Yay. Congratulations, Kelsey. It'll be great working up here with you. One more important position. We are on to any nominations for the Secretary of the Board of Education. Phil.
Madam Chair, it is with great pleasure I move to nominate Mrs. Janet Cushman for the role of Secretary of the Board. Having been first appointed to a position on this board in February of 2021 and just elected to serve a third consecutive term, Mrs. Cushman is the most senior member present on this dais. During the preceding term, Mrs. Cushman stepped up to fill a vacancy and serve out as Vice Chair of the Board, assuming greater leadership responsibilities while simultaneously participating in various other important subcommittees. Mrs. Cushman holds her bachelor's degree in elementary education and deaf education. She's an experienced tutor and home educator. She understands service on the board is an investment in our community and that our next generation of citizens should be well educated. She's been an advocate for greater transparency and accountability, promoting parental involvement and informed decision-making, and collaborating with various stakeholders to improve both student mental health and academic performance. We further recognize that outside of the membership of the majority political party, Mrs. Cushman acquired the highest individual vote count as compared to her peers on row B. Should Mrs. Cushman be successfully elected to this role, all 3 officers of the board will be female, better reflecting the predominant demographic of staff and educators in our building. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kober. Do I have a second?
Second.
Go ahead, Mr. Gauss. Thank you. Any other nominations? Do I have a motion to close nominations?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Kober,
Second.
second by Ms. McGuire Bruce. Show of hands for closing nominations. Getting it down now. That is 9 in favor, 0 against. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cushman,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Ms. Brocuglio,
Yes.
Mrs. Gerard,
Yes.
Mr. Gauss,
Yes.
Mrs. Kiner,
Yes.
Mr. Kober,
Yes.
Mrs. McGuire Bruce,
Yes.
Mrs. Pickett.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Congratulations, Janet, to you as well. All right. Now we are moving on to a portion of our agenda where we are going to recognize our outgoing board members. Before I ask them to come up, I am going to share a little something, and then I'm going to ask you all to come up, please. Whew. So part of what makes this moment so meaningful is knowing we are stepping into a continuum of service, that others have come before us. They've contributed greatly and helped shape the path that we're on. Tonight, we honor 5 Board of Education members who are completing their service on this board. Though we know their advocacy for Enfield and Enfield Public Schools will continue well beyond this moment. Jean Acree and Dr. Gerald Kellnan have worked together to underscore the importance of mental health. Their commitment has pushed us to think more deeply and act more collaboratively in this essential work ahead. Scott Ryder, you're EPS's biggest cheerleader. You're a proud PTO dad and have shared your passion for family partnership since day one. And finally, 2 people that I think of mentors and leaders in this work, Tina LeBlanc and Charlotte Riley. 2 long-serving and well-respected leaders whose dedication, steadiness, and institutional knowledge have guided this board through many seasons of change. Your leadership has been a gift to this community and a foundation for those who will continue this work. This group has shown us what it means to serve with integrity, respect, and shared commitment to students. They've modeled the very best of public service. Tonight, we express our thanks. Please join me in honoring the legacy of these positive and lasting impact that they leave on our students, families, and schools. Can I please have you all come forward so we can properly recognize you? And standing clap, please. First, I'm going to start with you, Miss Jean. Thank you so much for your service to here to Enfield Public Schools. You were a member of the board from 2021 to 2025. Any comments you'd like to make? Don't feel pressure.
Yes, it has been a privilege serving this community for the last 4.5 years. I'm going to miss every other Tuesday being at Town Hall. And I do wish all the residents, all the students in the Enfield community all the best. Thank you very much for having me for the last 4.5 years.
I'll take the mic for a moment. I want to say congratulations to you. I'm sorry I roped you into this several years ago, but it seems to have worked out fairly well. You have a nice center seat. I want to thank my family for allowing me the privilege of doing this every other Tuesday for over 8 years. And prior to that, the work that I did in our schools, which will continue. Let me hand you that for a moment. I'm also here to announce that although I will always bleed Eagle Green, I want to thank the Enfield teachers and staff because my daughter has accepted early entry into the School of Medicine at Quinnipiac University. And I have to make a little bit of room in my Eagle Green nest for some Golden Navy. So this is news as of Saturday night, and I'm honored to share this in a timely manner with all of you. And also PJ Day is Friday, December 12th. Please check Parent Square for future communications regarding PJ Day.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Ryder. Oh, my God. Ms. Riley.
Well, thank you. So I said everything I needed to say at the last Board of Ed meeting, but I really wanted to congratulate all of you for putting your name on the ballot, getting elected. Please continue to do the awesome work that we started and continued on with. Congratulations, Ms. Pickett. I hope to have your phone call every once in a while. I'm going to miss you guys, and I just really wanted to say thank you to everybody out here, everybody in YouTube land, Facebook land, for all of the incredibly wonderful things that you said about me lately. It means more than you'll ever know. So thank you very much.
And last but not least, Ms. Tina LeBlanc.
First, I would like to say thank you. I, like Charlotte, said a lot of thank yous 2 weeks ago when we sat up here for the last time. The voters in Enfield always had a lot of confidence and faith in me, and so I appreciated that. What I want to say to all the newly elected officials is that although we always haven't agreed, there is a care for the community and the kids in the schools. What we should care about, and as Mr. Kober said, and the questions we should ask, we disagree upon at times. But putting your hat in the ring and showing up and campaigning and getting up here is a lot of work, and it says a lot about people who are willing to come up here and learn. So good luck to you. Work together. I know it can be done. We all know it can be done. And to the Enfield Public School community, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. My love for Enfield Public Schools came from having 3 kids go through Enfield Public Schools. And they always say it takes a village. And I've always said Enfield Public Schools were my village. for my 3 kids, and being on the Board of Ed was one way for me to give back to all of you. So I appreciate being here for 14 years, and I'll still be watching, but thank you again.
I wish I could sing. Sorry, I was trying to have a Beyonce moment there, but I can't do that for you all. All right, thank you so much to our outgoing members. It really does become a team spirit up here, so thank you so much for being with us tonight. We're now going to move on to our comments. I'm going to start us off, and then we're going to finish out the night with some comments. All right. Sitting here tonight, it's both humbling and energizing. This moment reminds me what's possible when community stays informed, engaged, and hopeful. First and foremost, thank you to every resident who showed up, asked questions, and cast a vote. Regardless of affiliation, this is a win for all of us. When our community shows up like it did and participates, we all move forward together. There are 9 of us up here, each with our own expertise, passions, and perspectives, worth being shared and heard. I know that we won't always see things the same way, and I'm not here to change anybody's beliefs. That diversity is part of what makes our country and our community so strong. But in this space, here in these council chambers, as the Board of Education, we're trusted with decisions about public education, a cornerstone of our nation's success. Because it matters so deeply, we require that every child receives an education. And with that comes our responsibility to welcome, support, affirm, and uplift all students so they can reach their full potential. When we listen to one another and commit to centering our students in our decisions, we can do great things. I truly believe that there's far more that brings us together than divides us. It's time to put politics aside and focus on what unites us, our shared mission. Here at the Enfield Board of Ed, our mission is to enable all students to meet high standards, make productive choices in their personal lives, contribute to a diverse global society, and act as responsible citizens. Together, we can build on the good work already in motion. Let's continue advancing transparency, from posting our curriculum documents and contracts online, to building to the efforts led by Steve and Charlotte last term to make our budget process even more open and easier for residents to understand and support. Let's use data and feedback from our students, our staff, and our families to better understand our needs and shape meaningful solutions. And through our policy work, we can continue refining and streamlining, making sure they're not just efficient and effective, but also student-centered and supportive. Some of this progress will come with quick wins, simple, achievable steps that hopefully strengthens trust and communication. Other goals are going to take time, requiring patience and persistence. Both are essential. Lasting change, the kind that truly serves our students, happens when we stay focused, collaborative, and grounded in our shared purpose. So my goal is simple: to continue showing up as myself, to ask those questions, I love I wonders, to lead with honesty, humility, and heart, to make decisions that are thoughtful, intentional, always keeping our students, our families, and our staff at the center of our choices. I hope to model what shared leadership looks like. Every voice at this table is heard, where we move forward together, even when we don't all agree, because we know that our shared purpose is stronger than any single perspective. I'm going to continue sharing resources like EdSite and ideas, creating space for learning, growth, and collaboration. I'm also not going to shy away from those tough conversations, because those are often the ones that move us forward. My hope is to model and encourage courageous, respectful dialogue, the kind that brings people together, even in disagreement. Most of all, I hope to make Enfield Public Schools proud of the way we lead, proud of the way we listen, and the way we always keep our students at the heart of it all. So I'm going to end with some thank yous. Thank you to the campaign team. You all chipped in various ways to get us over the finish line. This is truly a team sport, and I'm so thankful to be on this team. To my Board of Ed ladies, Kelsey, Bobby, Danny, and Rosalie, thank you. Each of you brings such a needed and unique skill set to this work. I'm truly honored to serve alongside you. Your strength, experience, and heart make this board better. To our town council counterparts, thank you. Last Monday, you vowed to support Enfield Public Schools. I can't tell you how good that felt as a board member, but more importantly, as a mom. I look forward to our collaborative work ahead. Thank you to Tina. You listened to me as a mom. You modeled leadership. You stuck by me through some really tough moments. Thank you for your service to Enfield and your continued support in me and this team. Thank you to my village, my family, the Enfield Street School Playground crew, and the countless people who have reached out with encouragement. To my parents, who are in the front row, my greatest role models, thank you for showing me what it means to give back, to stay curious instead of judgmental, and to meet the world with compassion and purpose. To my niece, thank you for your support and your genuine interest in this work. You and your generation give me so much hope for what's ahead. And most importantly, to my husband, Cam and Tess, thank you. This position feeds my heart and soul, but it also requires time and focus away from you. Thank you for your patience and your love. You're my why. You remind me what this work is really all about, building a better future for every child in this community. And really, I hope I make you proud the most. So here's to the work ahead. It won't be easy, it won't be quick, but we're gonna stay committed, intentional, incremental steps that are sustainable and grounded in honesty, inclusion, and progress. We're gonna get there together. All right. I'm gonna kind of go in leadership positions and then just bounce it around if you guys are good with that. Kelsey, Ms. McGuire Bruce.
Okay. That's why she's the board chair. That's a tough act to follow. Good evening, everyone. First, I want to thank the voters of Enfield for placing your trust in me and us. From one doorstep to another over 1,000 times, I had conversations that reminded me why this work matters. I met some of the kindest people. My children will tell you that their favorite moments were the juice boxes, popsicles, and even a stuffed animal handed out while we were door knocking. But my highlights were the conversations. I met a woman who told me not to worry, that our seniors in this community do care deeply about education. I met a gentleman and his daughter who spent nearly 20 minutes sharing with me how community is rooted in education and how they feel it's their turn to support the next generation. Just as others supported his own children and helped them shape them into the successful adults that they were today. I listened to your questions, your hopes, and your concerns, and your encouragement throughout this campaign meant so much. I am grateful for every conversation and moment of support. I also want to thank the Enfield Democratic Town Committee and the campaign leadership team. You answered my many questions, took my calls at all times of the day, and pushed us when we needed it. Your support and commitment to us as candidates and to our community made a real difference. To my extended family and friends, thank you for coming to fundraisers, making calls, writing endorsements, spreading the word, standing at the polls, and cheering me and this team on every step of the way. This campaign took a village, and you were all part of the push that helped get us all here tonight. To my brother Sean and sister-in-law Lauren, thank you for showing up, supporting our fundraisers, and helping spread the word anytime I needed it. Grandpa, it meant so much to share this experience with you. You've worked on many campaigns in your life. Being able to do this one together meant a lot for me. I knew I couldn't get through that part. Okay, moving on. Mom and Dad, thank you for your constant support and for stepping in with extra childcare and continuing to do so as I begin this next adventure. My dad and I could talk about this campaign and politics for hours, despite my mother's attempts to change the subject any chance she can. Those conversations and your ability to listen, give advice, and be there for me when I needed it meant more than I can say. To my husband, thank you for supporting me through this challenge. You always knew this day might come, but I know saying yes to this wild ride still wasn't easy, and I'm grateful that you did. And finally, to my children, Shay and Mackenzie, you are a huge part of my why. You did things most 4-year-olds don't do, knocking on doors, helping me write sorry I missed you notes, coming to many events, sitting through meetings, and doing it all with so much patience. I'm incredibly proud of you both. I also want to thank Enfield Public Schools, the district that shaped me into the person I am today. I grew up in these classrooms, returned to them as a teacher, and now I have the opportunity to support them in this role. It is a great honor and one I do not take lightly. Looking ahead, I know there is real work to be done. Our responsibility, all of us up here, is to make sure our students, our teachers, and their families have the strongest opportunities that we can offer. I may not get everything right, but I am committed to listening, collaborating, and keeping students at the center of every decision that we make. Thank you again for this opportunity. Our students deserve our best, and I'm ready to get to work for this community.
First and foremost, I want to express my gratitude to God for placing before me this open door to continue serving on the Board of Education. I want to express my appreciation to my husband for his continued support in this endeavor. And to my family and friends, the leadership and members of the ERTC, the voters of Enfield, thank you for your tremendous support and encouragement every step of the way on this journey. As we sit here with excitement on the threshold of a new term, we've each having counted the cost, we've each come willing to invest the time and the effort, we've each come with the same goal, a desire to see every student in every public school here in Enfield and every program thrive in every possible way. But as diverse as our backgrounds and life experiences may be, our ideas about how to attain that goal may be just as diverse. As we share ideas and explore opportunities and strategies, may our work together be marked by mutual honor and respect as we choose to value one another despite our differences of opinions. I look forward to this term together with you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cushman. Mr. Kober.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So in politics and in life, my outlook is expect nothing, appreciate everything. To the over 3,500 voters that put their faith in me, thank you for your support and trust. I'm honored and privileged to have been reelected and continue my role on this board. Thank you to all those that ran alongside me, and whether you were successful or not in obtaining a seat this term, know that we had a solid, skilled, and well-balanced team, and I'm proud of our energy, effort, commitment, and spirit. Thank you to the Enfield Republican Town Committee for endorsing me and insisting at every level of the campaign process. Thank you to all those who donated, placed signs, wrote letters of support, and/or otherwise participated, whether candidly or behind the scenes. To my two youngest campaign aides, thank you for being my why and spending Election Day on my side. Yes, Dad did win again. While the wider outcome of this municipal election was disappointing in a sense, I was happy to see increased voter turnout and engagement. Local elections matter, perhaps even more than state and federal offices, when it comes to the decisions that affect each and every one of us. Now that the public has had the opportunity to choose their representatives, let us move past campaigning rhetoric and mindset and come together to govern effectively and selflessly serve. We are all here for the over 870 staff members, the over 4,500 students, and the community at large. We are EPS. We are one board, one Enfield. Congratulations to all those elected officials sitting next to me tonight. I offer a warm welcome to the new members joining this team. I am also delighted I am not the only board member that will share my time working in a classroom. Welcome back to all the returning incumbents. Let us pick up where we left off. To the outgoing members, farewell and thank you for your dedicated service to this board and the town of Enfield. To the newest officers of the board just elected tonight, congratulations. In conclusion, I want to offer up a quote from Peter Drucker, an American business consultant. Management is doing things right. Leadership is doing the right things. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kober. Ms. Kiner.
First and foremost, I must thank my husband of 47 years for always being the first person I go to for encouragement and advice and many history lessons. His life has always been about devotion to his family and also to his community. Bill, thank you for your encouragement and support in my decision to run for this seat on the Board of Ed. And true to form, you didn't just encourage me to follow my passion. You've been with me every step of the way. You were my driver for most of my door knocking. You were my cheerleader when I needed a push to continue door knocking on days when it seemed like no one was home. Most of the time, you were right. I would eventually meet a live person and have a good discussion, which lifted my spirits and spurred me to go on. I love you for all you do for me and for our family and for all that you care about. My entire family has been there for me from the beginning. My son and daughter-in-law had a hugely successful fundraiser for the benefit of all of our ticket. That was a great morale booster as well as a financial help to our campaign. Thank you, David and Gina. And to all those who attended and made it such a memorable night. Thank you to my daughters, Melanie and Katie, and their families for their financial support, but more importantly, for their emotional support. I will be picking your brains as I so admire and respect both of your work and accomplishments in the field of education. I am so grateful to the many friends and family who wrote letters of support, made generous financial contributions, those who shared their excitement over it being my turn for a Kiner to run for office to do some good for our town. To my cohorts on Enfield for Education, our 2 years of meetings and vowing to support pro-education candidates has led to Linda and I both running for office to do good for our town and our community. Little did we know how far our passion for education would take us. To the whole campaign team, thank you for your dedication to this town and for your hard work and invaluable leadership. You all know who you are. And finally, to all the voters who came out to support us, thank you. Thank you for your trust, and I pledge to do my best to serve diligently, and I always will welcome your input. Thank you.
Mr. Gauss.
Thank you, Mrs. Pickett. True to form, I don't have anything written down. I never do. I like to keep it real. First, I'd like to thank the Enfield Republican Town Committee, specifically Greg Stokes for even suggesting I do this, Mary Ann Turner for supporting me, and Kelly Hemler for really driving all of us to put in our best effort. It's really been an honor, and I look forward to serving again. Thank you to the voters. And I really would like to say that I will continue to represent the parents, students, especially the students that are kind of sometimes ignored. But most of all, I'd like to thank my son Charlie for taking care of my dog Eli while I spent many, many hours here, meetings, campaigning, all of those things. It's really been actually hard on him. And I know he's watching, so I want him to know that I was thinking of him. But thank you very much, everybody.
Gauss. Ms. Gerard.
Thank you. So first, I was trying to put this speech into a very short amount of time, but then I kindly reminded myself that I don't have 4 minutes, that I can make it as long as I want, but trust me, don't worry, I didn't make it too long, I promise. So bear with me while I go through this. So if you had told me 2 years ago that I would be sitting here on this dais tonight, I would not have believed you. I always saw myself as the behind-the-scenes warrior, someone who would somewhat quietly fight for the rights of our students, our families, and the residents of this town. Never did I imagine that I'd be doing that from the forefront. Deciding to run for the Board of Education wasn't an easy choice. I knew it would take time away from my family and everyday life. I knew my other commitments would need to shift and that I'd have to reprioritize. But deep down, I knew running was the right decision, the next step in continuing the work I've always cared deeply about. During this time, I will continue to help bring our community together. I will help promote and create events for not only the families of Enfield, but for everyone in this town. First, I want to thank every single person who came out to vote. No matter your political affiliation, your participation in our local elections matter. Showing up to vote is an act of care for our community, and it truly makes a difference in lives of everyone here in Enfield. Thank you to everyone who believed in me, my PFLAG family, my softball team, my book club ladies, and especially my village. Your support throughout this campaign kept me going, and I will work hard every day to make you proud. To our incredible campaign team, the leaders, and the candidates, what a wild ride this has been. You see a theme here. My first campaign, my first dive into politics, and I couldn't have done it without you. You guided me, you supported me, and made this experience one of friendship and growth. There were ups and downs, sure, but the ups far outweighed them. I'm grateful for every one of you. To the 4 amazing women sitting beside me, thank you. Thank you for listening to my ideas, my concerns, and my moments of doubt. Thank you for your encouragement, your honesty, your shoulders to cry on, and your willingness to lift me up when I needed it the most. I have so much respect for each of you, and I know together we're going to do incredible things for this district. Tina and Scott, you may not be sitting on this board anymore, but you're still with us in heart and spirit. I meant what I said at your last meeting. Your knowledge, integrity, and compassion have carried this district far, and I'm so grateful for all you've done. To my family, who's sitting in the audience and who's watching, thank you for your endless love and support. You've stood by me through every new adventure, every what if, and every idea, no matter how wild it was. Mom and Dad, even though you don't live in town, your encouragement means the world to me. To my kids, Aberdeen and Harper, who are probably both on their tablets, I know things might look a little different from here on out. There will be late nights and missed events, but please know that everything I do with you in my heart. My biggest goal is to make you proud and to always show you what it means to stand up for what's right. I love you more than words can express. And to my wife, for almost 21 years, you've been my partner in everything. You've supported every wild idea I've had, even the ones I swore I'd never actually do, like sitting right here. Deep down, you probably knew I'd get there one day. When I told you it's time, I have to do this, and you asked me why, my answer was simple. Because if I don't, who will? Thank you for being my rock, my cheerleader, my safe space, and my home. You're a hug at the end of a long day and the smile that starts every new one. This is just another chapter in our story, and I couldn't imagine turning the page without you by my side. My hope is to continue to work collaboratively with not only the BOE, but also everyone on the town council. In order for us to move forward in a positive direction, we must continue to put our students first. I am here to make sure that our schools continue to be inclusive and supportive for every child, every day. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Anderson.
Thank you. First and foremost, I want to thank my wife, Kim. Still not sure what you were thinking 25 years ago. You met me. Then you agreed to marry me. Now you agreed to support me on the BOE. Starting to think you might have some decision-making problems going on there. But seriously, thank you for everything you've done for me. I love you. I'd also like to thank Kelly Humler. Thank you for helping me grow as a candidate and for being there every time I needed you. Thank you. Thank you to everyone that supported me, encouraged me, and even those who may have discouraged me or suggested that I should get more involved in and volunteer my time. So thank you. I've done that. And I'll do my best to be part of the team. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. So I don't have much. Oh, thank you. Oh my God, look at me messing up the first. Never again. I'm so sorry. One last comment down the row here, Ms. Proculio.
Thanks. I'd also like to say thank you to some of the people who have made this moment and history-making term possible. There are simply too many people to name individually, but I'm going to do my best to capture you all. To my parents, who first taught me the meaning of community service through the Shaker Pines Fire Department, community policing, their work as an EMT for Voices Incorporated back in the day, thank you. You showed me what it means to truly show up for others. To every single person who believed in us, knocked doors in the rain with us, made calls, held signs, posted on social media, even brought us coffee and pizza, but most importantly showed up to vote, I want you to know that we hear you, we see you, and appreciate you. Thank you. To the voters who hoped for a different outcome, please know this. We are going to work just as tirelessly for your children as any other child in Enfield. Now that the election signs come down, red and blue should not divide us, but should be relegated back to the primary colors chart in our art classrooms. The only side that matters now is the Enfield side. And as trite as it might sound, united, I know we won't just climb mountains, I know we can move them. To our students and staff, you are the reason we are here, and I do not take that charge lightly. As a kid who walked many of the halls of our schools, I carry your stories, your challenges, and your dreams into every decision we will make. So much of who I am and what I've accomplished is due to the foundation that the Enfield Public Schools has provided me. To our donors, volunteers, endorsers, the EDTC, the campaign team, to Mike, my goddaughter Haley, who will be the first one to tell you she usurped my friend Heather as my best friend, Ashley, Tom, and Ruby, thank you. As Tina said, it takes a village, and I know I'm a bit biased, but I truly think we have the very best one here in Enfield. To me, tonight is the beginning of turning hope into action, and I am so grateful for the opportunity to do this work.
Thank you, Mr. Proculio. All right. So before we adjourn, I do want to thank you all again for coming tonight. I also want to mention that tonight is more than just a swearing in. This election is truly historic. The majority of our Board of Education is female. Danny, a proud member of the LGBTQ plus community, proof of the power of inclusion and representation. Hang on, there's more. And across town, our new town council includes the youngest councilor ever, Zach Zanoni, the first person of color elected to the council, Maya Matthews, a female mayor in Miss Gina Sakala, and a longest serving town councilor in Cindy Mangini. This is what progress looks like. This is when every seat at the table represents our community. Thank you for coming here tonight. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Madam Chair, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
And a second by Mr. Gauss, and moved by Mr. Kober, seconded by Mr. Gauss. A show of hands, please. That is 9 in favor, 0 against. We are adjourned.